Welcome in. We are here post Las Vegas. It was a fun one. A lot of good battling throughout. But it was dominated by the guy that's dominated what feels like a lot of the recent Las Vegas races. Kyle Larson wins his third Las Vegas race in the last 3 years. Two spring races this year in 2021 and last year's fall race. Which was eerily reminiscent race-wise to what was in the fall last year. Him kind of dominating, winning the stages, and then getting chased down by a Toyota late, only for it not to be enough. We've got Ryan, Maddie, Tegan, and Sal here. Ryan, give me your thoughts on the race.
Really no surprise. Larson was really the best car out there. Since he's been at Hendrick, that track has been his. And he's been able just to prove how good he is in these cars, and he knows how to hold on to a lead and manage a gap. I mean, Reddick tried to chase him down, and Larson with making the line harder for Reddick by giving him dirty air. So no surprises.
Definitely. Tegan, your thoughts?
I mean, it's just a so-so race. It's been a while since we've had a so-so race in the Cup Series. So, Kyle Larson dominated it. So it's the reason why I wanted to take him this week and got beat to it. So he was going to thanks, JB. So yeah, it's just other than Larson dominating, it's kind of just a boring race to me. It's like an old mile and a half from years ago where like nothing happens. Arrow kind of dominates everything. So. I have no opinion from one way or the other. So
I thought Arrow played more of a story than we've seen lately at the mile and a half. Yeah. I don't know if that's the case or that was more apparent. To me, everybody's so even with a lot of the same parts, and you have not much horsepower in the car. So it's kind of hard to generate runs, and it's very easy to arrow block like we saw Kyle Larson do. Watching Chase's in-car camera a lot of the race, it looks frustrating. You lose any sort of momentum, you're going to lose 2 or 3 spots at that moment, and it's going to be really hard to get them back. I don't know if the driver, it's entertaining on TV. I thought the race was solid, but I can see where some drivers might be a little bit frustrated in the cars. Reddick was definitely frustrated after the race. I don't know more about the aero blocking as much as his pit crew, which seems like has been really the Achilles heel of the 45 team. They've had winning speed at a lot of races these last couple seasons with him behind the wheel. And pit crew has really hurt them more times than one. Sally, your thoughts on the race?
Not just the 45. I think it's the Achilles heel to that whole 23
right team. Yeah, man. The lug nut on Bubba.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, I thought it was an okay race.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thought leading into the week Larson would be fast, and Larson was indeed fast. So that usually puts on a stinker. But I mean, it was some pretty exciting racing there towards the end, just seeing Reddick actually catch up, and you'd like for it to more come down to the driver talent and not if the leader can block correctly for the air to disrupt him as much as he did. Because I mean, the amount that he lost on that one block was insane.
Yeah, to me that was just like, it felt like a 550 race again with what I saw there. Like it felt like Kansas 2020 with Joey Logano blocking Kevin Harvick all over again. And you can't fault Kyle Larson because he did a great job all day managing the lead, and he did an incredible job holding Tyler Reddick off, who I think was clearly faster there towards the end. But it is frustrating as a fan watching and seeing the faster car not be able to make a pass because the guy in front of him is just running that lane, and that's just negatively affecting the car, in this case Reddick, so much. It's definitely frustrating as a fan, but you can't blame Kyle Larson. You gotta blame NASCAR if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Let's go to one of my favorite segments. I love doing this every week. All right, Maddie, you ready? Okay. There we go. Hit us, Maddie.
Alrighty, my two dudes. I gotta go with Kyle Larson. You might as well just name Las Vegas Larson Speedway, because this man, every time they're there, just dominates everybody. So he was definitely my first dude. And then my second dude, I'm going to give it to the guy who I think is going to have the best overall season at SHR, Noah Gragson.
Okay.
He's been strong so far this year. He showed a lot of speed towards the end of that race as well. So I do think he'll be the best at SHR all season. And those are my two dudes.
Okay, Maddie, thank you. Let's get this off the screen. Oh, okay, we're going to try something here. The music's not stopping. I'm going to try something. What do you think about this? Let's look at this. Oh. Oh.
This is
there
fun.
we go.
That's bad. What's that? That's not bad.
I like the squiggly lines more.
Yeah.
I think we should just keep it. This one?
Yeah.
I think that looks the best.
That's so
like an 80s,
goofy.
90s throwback.
We're goofy people.
All right.
And you're
fine.
the goofiest one.
Okay. We got a hi from Spencer. Kevron, who's not able to join us tonight, wish they had the Gen 4 Aero package. Those cars drove the best regardless of horsepower. I agree. I love that. But I agree. I don't like it. It is quite distracting. Let's see if we can mango. Ooh, it's called mango. What's this? Hey. That's not bad.
Yeah, I like
No,
this.
yeah, that one's good.
We're a little lighter colored now. Yeah, I like that. All right, we're keeping it that.
Okay.
But yeah, Tegan, one of your guys now, you're an SHR fan, and Noah's one of the guys you're leaning towards rooting for this year. How do you feel about that? Because that was a really big run for that team, heading into a good track for SHR next week. A good track for Almirola, actually, in recent years, people might forget. Solid, I mean, in terms of Almirola, he'd finish maybe top 10 there. What are your thoughts on Noah? And SHR showed some solid speed. You had Briscoe running up front for a little while earlier. Barry kind of peaked towards the top 10 at one point.
Yeah. It just seems like Stewart-Haas has to trim these cars out every week now, because they're not getting no kind of information from Ford.
Right.
And it shows. They're their only 4 team that's like, we're all 4 of them are like, the whole team is struggling. So you can kind of tell with Briscoe, like, he would be up there top 5 making passes, just like last week. And toward the end of the run or midway through the run, he's not even in the top 20. Like, literally 2 laps, he's gone. So
yeah, they've
got these cars really trimmed out. The last caution we had with like 30 to go kind of helped Noah and Chase Briscoe a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I watched that race. I really didn't watch it till like the end, like after the last caution. I was watching it and watching Noah move up the field. I got kind of excited. So I couldn't stand Noah when he drove for Junior Motorsports. I couldn't stand him.
Yeah.
I could care less when he drove last year for Legacy. So this year, I just feel like he's a good fit for Stewart-Haas. I'm not a Stewart-Haas fan, quite frankly. If anything, I'm just going to be a Noah fan, Riley fan. I see them both as underdogs. And it's kind of funny because I didn't realize till this week, I knew they were both from Vegas, but they did a piece where they actually were friends when they were little. So
wow,
I kind of chose the underdogs here, and I'm kind of here for it. I like the underdogs. I'm used to root for the big dog on the block, and now I'm rooting for the little chihuahuas that nip at your ankles. So, and like this weekend, Riley showed speed again at Vegas. His home track. And so did Noah. They both got top 6s out of it. So I'm here for a a low-key Noah outperforming all of his Stuart Haas teammates, and I'm here for Riley probably going to the Final Four and being a championship contender. So I'm
like
here
that.
for it. Mark it now.
I didn't know, I know you've mentioned Riley Herbst. I didn't know you were as big on this bandwagon until you sent me a screenshot yesterday. He's the background of your phone.
So I've been on Riley since last year. This has not been like a Harvick's out, I'll go with Riley. It was early last year when he was literally running good at the beginning of the year and then had a string of he got fucked. It was literally like Stuart Haas was going out of their fucking way to fuck him every week. Now, for a little bit, I thought, okay, they're getting rid of him. They don't care. They're not even trying. He misses the playoffs against fucking Parker. And then he goes out there and stomps a mud hole in their ass at Las Vegas by 14 fucking seconds. So I'm a Raleigh guy. He's a good looking feller, and I like underdogs. Like I said, I think he's an underdog. I think he's in cut pretty soon.
Watch out for Barry. Finishing 20th isn't good, but I think people are sleeping on Josh Berry early in the season so far.
I think it's going to take a while, but I think with Stuart Haas,
consider me sleeping.
With Stuart Haas being basically the redheaded stepchild this year with Ford, I think this year is just a learning curve for Josh Berry and Rodney. That's one thing Noah's got a leg up on. Noah's already had a year in this car compared to Josh Berry. That's why I think he's going to outperform him a lot this year. And at least till toward the end of the year, till Josh gets a handle on the cars.
Yeah, and, Briscoe, I think, has probably the biggest advantage on that team, just being there for so long, running the next-gen car every season it's been in the Cup Series. So I think Briscoe has the advantage, but a little bit of pressure on him to perform, I think, because Noah had that run, and Briscoe was running well early on, but Noah finished it off. And where'd Briscoe end up?
He ended up finishing behind Josh Berry. He ended up finishing.
So there were 20th, 21st, and 23rd. Between the three.
And so
they were all right there together.
And
I think they actually showed more speed. I didn't see Priest, so Sal, you can do your victory lap right now. I didn't see Priest much, but I saw Barry was in play for a little bit in that 15 range, and so is Briscoe. So it's good to see them. Now, the Honda whoa, that sounded loud.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, did that go through your front door there, Sal?
Oh, yeah, next to my window.
The Honda to NASCAR rumors are heating up. You hear it being talked about. Well,
IndyCar reporters are talking about it
because it looks like Honda's going to leave IndyCar and then come to NASCAR.
That's even a bigger scoop because that means they're going to really be committed.
Yeah,
if they're leaving.
Really, they would leave
IndyCar's got new chassis and new engine regulations, I believe, in 2026 or 2027. And I think that's an easy excuse for Honda to maybe say, all right, we're out. We'd rather put the development into NASCAR.
They've done it before, if I'm not mistaken, too. They took breaks from Indy.
Yeah. So, because that was the rumor, like, if you're a NASCAR fan and you like Honda, then you'll be happy, is what an IndyCar reporter said. But the thing is it's by a certain date in like April or May that you have to report a design to enter the Cup Series, and it has to be 2 seasons in advance. So if they gave the design into NASCAR, unless NASCAR finds a way to fast track it.
I think if I'm NASCAR, I'm fast tracking it.
Oh yeah.
If that's possible. But the rules right now would state that if Honda submits a design before someday, April or May, I don't remember when, that they would be able to enter in 2026.
Okay.
But the thing is, everybody's talking about SHR going to Honda.
If this Honda thing don't work next year, they're fucked.
That's what I'm getting at here. Their contract with Ford ends at the end of this year. Do they rock with Chevy for 1 year?
I don't think you rock with anybody for a year. That's the thing. I think they're stuck with Ford with no help.
Contract's over.
they can still run forwards. They just don't get no help. You're not negated to
more help from Chevy
running manufacturing just because you don't have a contract. You just absolutely get no help. Like they're getting something, but they're not getting the good shit. If they wanted to run Ford next year with no contract, they'd get absolutely nothing.
I would rather. I would as a team though. I think if I'm not getting help from anybody, I'd rather get Chevy or Toyota's leftovers than Ford's.
True, but I don't think you're going to get no leftovers. I don't think you're absolutely getting nothing for 1 year because you're not going to get information from who's going to be a competitor and take it to their competitor, a brand new competitor who's playing with house money with Honda.
Right.
Toyota's definitely not doing it because that is definitely their competition outside of this country. Chevy's not doing it because they're top dog in this sport. And Ford, they could care less either way. So they're already shitting on them. So if Honda don't come in next year, Stuart Haas is fucked. Unless somehow they can stick with a manufacturer and Honda helps them in behind the scenes with some information that they're working on their side of things, then maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it must be like the development takes time. So if they want to be in the Cup Series next year,
this hasn't been in development for a while.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what is rumored for 2 or 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm getting at. If they want to come in next year, they need to be already pretty deep into development.
And to be fair, we're only on our 3rd season of a brand new fucking spec car.
Right.
So that you can't just say, "Oh, here you get 2 years." Hell, NASCAR ain't even got the motherfucker figured out. Last year they were changing shit on the back end of it because of concussions. They literally changed the fucking car enough to where teams had to put money back into it and lose money. Yeah. So I don't think it's fair for a sport to put that same kind of shit on a manufacturer who's. If I'm NASCAR, I'm going to jump at the opportunity to say, "Yeah, come on in. We'll fucking fast track it before you change your fucking mind." I feel like that's happened. What manufacturers, wanting to come in and then they're like, "No, it's not looking good." If Honda's like, "Hey, we're ready, but we want to fast track this," I'm like, "All right, you got it. Let's fast track this bitch."
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
What kind of car do we think the Honda's going to have? Do we think it's going to be
how many years until?
Oh, you're good.
Forget this car.
I think we're stuck with it for a little bit. Till they get their money out of it.
They're gonna get their money's worth. Like they.
Oh, and we're also going to wait till we get Trump in the office so he can fix the economy.
We're not gonna get into that one. He's really gonna help. He doesn't even know where he is. But I think we got this for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if we see major alterations to it at some point. But that's so.
I think we need to get away from sourced parts because that's what's hurting competition.
Gonna happen.
Well, then
these places have gotten rid of where the fabricators are gone now.
Well, they're still out there.
But I'll ask the question from Matt. He was going to ask
Matt, the Honda question? Yeah.
What car? I personally want to see a Honda Odyssey out there. Give me a huge ass van, just fucking.
I think it's going to be their top seller, which seems to be the Accord.
I was
Civic
going
or
it's not going to be the Accord.
Yeah. That'd be great though.
Because that's a good luxury car, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just seeing,
and the Civic, I feel like is a better car for the.
It's recent
graphic.
Yes. When you think of Accord, I think of a 1992 Honda Accord that's still out there right now, sputtering down the highway, puffing smoke like puffing Parsons and spitting oil, but still fucking going strong. So I think you got to go with a Civic.
Yeah, there's just something about
a luxury brand.
Yeah, there's just something about a souped-up Odyssey just flying around, ramming people.
I love that, dude.
The van series is now going to be in NASCAR.
No, that's a stalker
abolish the truck series. Turn it into vans.
Yeah, you'll get like
crew riding in the back.
Yeah.
When they go to pit, they slide the door out and they get out there and jack it up and shit.
You'll get NASCAR combined with a little bit of Wreckfest. It's perfect. It's the best of both worlds.
There we go.
Awesome. I mean, we are going to see that EV series at some point soon.
I don't think
it's going to be SUVs.
Did they ever reschedule? Because I know they were supposed to like test the car out at the Coliseum. Have they come out saying anything about the reschedule?
Something must have been delayed on that because I have not heard anything about that at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if Coke 600 weekend they come out with something on it.
Oh, it's a big one. They already put a Hellcat in a freaking Dodge Caravan. Why the heck not? Right? I mean,
that'd be hilarious to see. But yeah, it's got to be the Accord. Would be my bet.
I think Accord or Civic, but I would go Civic. Honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let's talk
Neither
about.
one would be a bad idea, though.
We're gonna go into a little F1 talk.
Sorry,
without me.
Yeah.
Nothing to really talk about.
Ain't this where we go?
There's something to talk about.
No, this is F1.
There's something to talk about.
We're not really going to talk much. We're not going to talk much about the race.
Okay.
Because that's a
Max
snooze fest.
Verstappen won it dominant fashion, 22 seconds over his teammate Sergio Perez. But really, the off-the-track conversation is really where a lot is going on now.
I saw this today. I think the headline.
Yep.
Yeah. So Christian Horner, team principal at Red Bull, has been recently investigated for workplace harassment claims and whatnot. And he was cleared, but there was leaks of text messages that came out immediately after that. It seemed like there was a very strategic effort by people to get him out of that position, including Max Verstappen's dad, Jos Verstappen, who has claimed that if he stays, the team's going to explode. And now there's rumors coming out about Max Verstappen potentially going to Mercedes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
It's getting big
wild.
here.
Is it going to be him and Lewis?
It would be
Russell.
Lewis is going to Ferrari.
Lewis is going to Ferrari.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. So
next,
it would be George.
2025. It'd be George Russell and Max Verstappen. And it's really interesting. The lead technical designer there, Adrian Newey, who is a genius, developed the car that won Sebastian Vettel 4 championships, and now looks like it's going to lead Max Verstappen to his 4th. It looks like if Horner stays, he might leave as well. Where could he go? WEC, Ferrari, one of those options seems like.
Please go to Alpine. We need help.
Save Alpine.
we need help. We are so bad. That team is so.
Alpine.
People were saying before the season that might be one of the worst cars they've ever seen, and by God, are they proving expectations right after 1 week? Holy moly!
That's a lawnmower.
That was bad.
It's pretty rough one for Pierre Gasly and Esty over there. Esteban.
That was bad. That was bad.
But it's really an interesting conversation because, if Max Verstappen feels this way, then I'm fine with his dad coming out and talking a lot about this. But Max hasn't said anything. So to me, it just feels like his dad's trying to control his career. And, Max is a 3-time champion. Jos never really even got on the podium in F1. So, Sally, you're a Red Bull fan. I want to hear your thoughts on the whole situation. Because there's an interesting dynamic at Red Bull. There's the 49% owner in Red Bull had the draft up and ready to fire Christian Horner. But the majority owner, who owns 51% of it, has Horner's back. So there's even a dispute within the ownership about this incident right now. Horner believes that he can do it without and Max Verstappen, which is a statement for sure. And to me, I think that he's much more replaceable than the other two. But Sally, I want to hear your thoughts.
I think if you're Red Bull, and like you said, Max hasn't said anything about it. Like I think you said that over the weekend he commented on it, but didn't say anything much else.
It was a no comment. Yeah.
I think if you're Red Bull, eventually, if these talks are for real or his dad's just talking out of his ass, which I've come to realize in like the 2-3 years I watched Formula One, he does it a lot.
Yeah, he does. He does talk a lot.
You're giving off Joe Logano's dad vibes.
Very comparable, actually. Yeah.
I think that this down. I mean, you lose the guy fabricating the best car the last 2 years, and then you lose the driver who, even though he's dominating and all that, like the future is still bright for this guy to go out and win.
26,
yeah,
right?
He can still go out and win a ton more championships. And I think at one point, if all these talks and rumors are true about people leaving and all that, you are gonna eventually have to say, "All right, Christian, you're done here, buddy," and
now
just move on.
Yeah, if you're Max, though, is it a bad move to move to Mercedes? Because in 2026 we are going to have new regulations in F1. Also, it seems like 2026 is a big year for new regulations in motorsports. New engine regulations, I believe. So, are you going to make a bet on Red Bull hitting it right again, or do you want to make a bet on Mercedes hitting it right like they did 10 or so years ago?
In that case, I'm honestly leaning more towards Mercedes, because isn't Red Bull also getting Ford engines?
Well, so they are still basically using the Honda engines, Honda developed engines. Their Red Bull powertrains thing will start in 2026. That's a big unknown,
It's actually a very serious unknown. Ford might be,
especially considering Ford, which Ford wasn't actually going to be in for much of the development, a part of it. They were just in there as like a brand, a sponsorship of the team. So it's Red Bull making the engine. But that's a big uncertainty to me, considering they've never done that before.
I think a lot of guys a little less than if it was Ford now.
Yeah, who knows? But Ford is actually also kind of looking to maybe break the sponsorship deal, depending on what happens here with Christian Horner, because they don't want to be a part of all the drama that's going on around Red Bull right now. And you're hearing about every crazy situation in the book about that right now. We don't talk about F1 usually here, but this is a big enough story, I think, that is worthy of discussion.
Can I add something to the Ford? Ford's pissed. The reason why they're trying to break this is Ford's pissed at Red Bull because they weren't getting transparency about what was going on.
The investigation.
They wanted full transparency, and Ford didn't get that. And now Ford's questioning if this is the right move, because their name is going on it, even though they're not really helping build the engine. They're just kind of there as a sponsorship deal, as mentioned. It is their brand that they do need to protect. And if Red Bull's not going to be transparent with them, then Ford's going to try to make sure to protect their name and probably bounce.
Right. Maddie, you have a thought?
I don't know. It's definitely a whole interesting thing. If I'm from a Red Bull perspective, I think you have to cater to Max's needs. Like, try to get an answer from him. He's been really quiet, but whether that answer is public or whether it's private, get an answer from Max, and whatever he wants, I'm basically doing whatever he wants and needs at Red Bull. I'm doing it, because Sergio's good, but he's not Max level good. And if you lose someone like Max, who are you going to replace him with? Because Lewis is one of the best in F1, and he's already tied to Ferrari. I imagine Leclerc would stay there, although Leclerc might be the next.
Yeah, Leclerc is going to stay at Ferrari.
Maybe you would get Sainz to move there, but I don't know if the team of Sainz and Perez is quite as good as.
I think you wipe the slate clean if you're Red Bull, though.
Yeah, I mean,
Perez, his performance is not up to it. He would get beat in a championship straight up against everybody else, not including Max, I think.
So if I'm Red Bull,
I think you just re-rack it, because his dad, Carlos Sainz's dad, still has ties with Red Bull. I think he's an easy fit there. Maybe even Fernando Alonso or Daniel Ricciardo too for that second seat. That could make it really interesting.
Yeah, but if I'm from a Red Bull perspective, I want whatever I can do to keep Max, and then just play it out from there. I honestly thought when we were going to the F1 thing, I saw today that there was a fix possibly in the Saudi Arabia race last year.
Yeah,
that's where I thought.
Oh yes,
that's where I thought we were going.
we can talk about that too. The FIA,
but I thought
president,
the F1 was the best series, guys. What are you talking about? What the fuck are y'all doing?
It's not.
There's a lot going on overseas.
The FIA last year, the FIA president, I guess, intervened, or a whistleblower is saying that he intervened in a penalty during the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix last year, and I think overturned it for Fernando Alonso, right, or tried to at least.
Yeah.
So it was a stupid penalty, but I think that's a little bit of overreach, if you ask me. So that's definitely going to be an interesting investigation. And when F1 can't have excitement on the track, God Almighty, they can have it off the track.
Which I think they might. I think they might have to do for the majority of the season because Max is just going to beat everybody by an average of probably 20 plus seconds the whole entire year.
The Netflix cameras need to be on. They need to be on for all this. It's really interesting because 2025, for those that don't know, was considered to be kind of the most wide open F1 free agency landscape we've seen ever. And the two people already being rumored to move were two people that were already under contract. Like Lewis was already signed, broke it to go to Ferrari, and Max could use his clause to break out and go to Mercedes. So that would really even make things way more upside down than we expect. Personally, I think it ends up going Horner out, Verstappen and Newey stay. That would be the sensible decision to me, but the majority owner has Horner's back, so you never really know with that kind of stuff. A lot of times owners are not the smartest. They just have a lot of money. That is it for the F1 talk. Sorry, Tegan. We can talk about Riley Herbst or something if you'd like. Okay, I know Sal and I joke about this because we do our little watch parties for this, but shout out to the Truck Series for putting on the race of the weekend. How about that? I mean, I don't know who all watched it in here. I think a couple of us did. I thought that was a really good race for Truck Series standards.
Yeah, that was I'll let Sal go. I'll go first just so that way, because I know Sal's going to have a way more to say about it. So I'm just going to try to be short and sweet here. It was good outside of the part of the race that actually mattered. The coverage was really good. Instead of focusing in, I think it was Taylor Gray and Raja for the potential lead, they were focusing on 18th and 19th between Majeski and Zane Smith. I don't know what that was all about. But
in a pit cycle, the battle for the net lead, they were not focused on it whatsoever. And they go, "Oh wow, Roger Carruth got past Taylor Gray. Look at that!" It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the side by side action and even the 3 wide moves. It just seems like in the Xfinity series and in the trucks, you're able to move more around and try to make moves than you are in the Cups car, which is kind of, not be penalized about it, which is kind of ass backwards to me. I'd probably want the top 2 series to where you could do that, not the bottom 2. But I don't know. NASCAR, I hope, has a plan, but the plan hasn't been good for like the first 3 years. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
we like the direction that we're going in, and we like what we see on the track.
Yeah. The Gluck polls are positive, and we'll look at those. Which the Las Vegas
been watching for the last 5 years.
It was not a bad race, I thought.
No, it was good.
The Cup race and the truck race I thought was really good. Xfinity race is kind of boring, but it was solid. So let's talk about Roger Carruth. Great run for him. Really cool to see him break out of his shell. Was on GMS last year, kind of struggled, but now with Spire and with that HendrickCars.com backing, huge win for his career. I believe only ever the 3rd black driver to win a NASCAR sanctioned top series race. Wendell Scott and Bubba Wallace are the other 2. Any thoughts on that? I think it was really cool. I remember way back when I was like a wee little lad. I remember he had a YouTube channel, and I was in one of his stop motion leagues. So it goes way back. I remember that name because he had a YouTube channel. So it's really cool to see. He was grinding it out always to get up to where he is. Nice to see him get the Hendrick backing. Pretty cool. Any thoughts, guys?
I mean, it's awesome to see a first-time winner, and then especially someone like you said, that as a kid. And how old is he? Probably up around
my age, 20, 21, I think.
Like someone like that.
I think he just turned 21.
Yeah.
They talked about it while he was doing his donuts at Las Vegas.
That's right.
How he can go gamble and shit. So
yeah,
it was very cool to watch. I know another group of friends were happy for him because they actually like league raced with him on, I think it was PS3 back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's like literally someone from like doing what we do for fun.
A community like ours, somebody
was able
like
to
that,
go out there and prove himself.
Maybe one day we'll be lucky to say that, you know, when Spencer makes it to big leagues.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know about that one there, guys.
I don't know about that, yeah.
I would hate to be around him after the race.
They just have glassware on top of the pit box for him to come in and just chuck.
He needs to get to one of those rage rooms where you just break shit. You know,
in a padded room, you got your goggles on.
Yeah.
You know,
with like a sledgehammer. Yeah.
Shit. Maybe Michael Fox can loan him a baseball bat.
Oh, I know he's got one attached to his head. Anyway, probably the biggest news story of the week, NASCAR-wise. Our Lord and Savior, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is leaving NBC and going to Amazon Prime and Turner for their both respective 5-race summer packages next year and beyond. Yep, 10 race total. Yeah, he is doing both. So we'll have him for 10 races. He'll be less than the 20 that we get him for now.
Which I think is the biggest reason why he's doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that. He can focus more on Dirty Mo maybe and be with his family. He's got young kids. So. He did just buy an RV. Yeah.
And don't forget, he's got a used mint condition Titanic Lego set that he just bought off eBay for cheap. Because he couldn't afford the real thing, the new shit. So he's got to have those extra 10 weeks to put that shit together.
He's got to be the cheapest man ever for how wealthy he is.
But, you know, he's got some money because he said he was going to bid on one. And just in case it was missing some pieces, he was going to go ahead and bid on another one so he'd have a backup. So he's got a little bit of extra spending money. That's what I said.
I don't know why buying an RV was a big deal for him. Like, he could have done 10 times.
I would Lego, like, if they don't make it anymore, I'm like, hey, my name's Dale Earnhardt Jr. Maybe you've heard of me.
Yeah.
Can you reproduce the Titanic Lego set? I'll pay you double the price.
Yeah.
No trouble, Junior. No trouble, Dale Jr. Anything you fucking want, Dale Jr. No, this MFer goes to eBay like he's some fucking commoner or some shit. Like his name is Sal or something. Bidding on an ear of corn.
Jeez Louise. Bradley says his concussions got to him.
Maybe it's the medical bills. I don't know.
Yeah, right. But to me, back to the Amazon TNT deal, I think this is a great sign for those two networks and their coverage, because that shows that they're taking this seriously.
So it sounds like they're also going to use the same team all the way around. But maybe NASCAR may have a hand in the production side of things.
I think that would be a good idea, just for continuity, because I feel like having a 10-race group is better than having 2 5-race groups. You know, you can get more accustomed, you can get chemistry, which, I mean, you know, I would like Alan Bestwick in that booth.
I think that's all who we're voting for.
I
think anybody else, in my opinion, is a letdown. It's to me, anybody else, it's a fucking letdown.
Genuine.
It's a disappointment.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God, no! Please, no.
This is where we would rather keep her in the truck series.
Can we? No,
I love her as a pit reporter, but she does, and she's not bad. She's not bad, but it's just she does not vibe with commentating. Oh,
she's bad at commentating.
I don't think she's bad. I've heard worse, but it's just.
And there it is.
She's a girl, but it's just she just doesn't vibe with it. She doesn't have the tone for it or something. she needs to stay. She should have stayed in Arca because nobody watches. So,
well, we watch.
Yeah, we watch for shits and giggles, not her.
Again.
Hear me out. Dale Jr., Bestwick, and Colpern. I like that.
I don't know about Colpern.
I think we see 2 drivers probably. I know we don't like that. I know we like the crew chief, but I feel like those networks will want the big name drivers. I think we could see somebody like Kurt
The thing
Busch.
about the crew chief is, like with this car, the crew chief doesn't have much to do anymore like they used to back in the day. They're stuck with what they've got. They have no tools to fix this car, like Rodney once told Harvick when he got pissed off. He said, "I ain't got nothing to do. I ain't got no tools to fix this car."
Yeah.
So this crew chief thing is kind of slowly fading away, in my opinion. I mean, even Steve LaFart didn't work on this car, so he's just basically there to tell you when they pit and if they're going to take 2 or 4, like Larry. So how a driver could fucking do that.
Well, they don't use Larry as much as they should on Fox, I feel like. I think
I want to see Larry go to Amazon is what I want to see Larry do.
Like that. Bestwick, Dale Jr., and Larry Mack would be the GOAT booth ever, maybe. I
think we would have finally actually, since NBC, TNT, and Fox, and FX in 2001, the first package, we would have a well-rounded 36 race cup schedule commentating team between 4 networks, major networks. So we ain't had that since the first package, in my opinion. So
because just when it seems like Fox is starting to get it right on the cup side, NBC loses Dale Jr.
I don't think that's going to be the biggest hit we think it is. I don't think it's going to hurt. I don't think.
Well, we'll see.
I don't think now they'll have to wear their earplugs. That's why they put Dale Jr. in a room with Jeff Burton, because Jeff Burton's probably already deaf anyway. When he goes, "Oh, it's spin! Oh, they're ranking!" That shit makes your ear ring. So
I love that though.
I think now they can put them all 3. I think we need to stick with 3. I think NBC had it right with the 4 they had. They made it work. I don't think you can do that again, and I don't think they want to. So this is a good way to save money. Don't hire somebody else. Just do it with 3.
I would love to hear Dale Jarrett back in that booth in some way, because I think he's really good. I think Dale Jarrett is a really good analyst. So maybe
Dale Jarrett's not been in the last 2-3 versions of the car we've had.
Well, Jeff Burton really hasn't been either. He's raced one
Even
race.
He knows everything.
God no.
God damn.
I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. I thought I'd hear that every fucking week. I'd go to sleep at night hearing that in my fucking dream. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. No, I don't want to hear that shit. Leave Kyle Petty on the sideshow with the other circus animals. So
Bill Weber in the pits. Sure.
Doing magic tricks.
I think Bill Weber, an all-time good pit reporter, and especially an all-time good pre-race host.
But I think that dude stepped on a lot of toes and burned a lot of bridges.
And he's fat now.
I don't know about that. I didn't call him fat. I just said he burned a lot of bridges.
There's a photo of him. Somebody saw him in some store in Key West that he works at now, I guess. And he is a chunky boy. Look on Reddit. Look up Reddit. I said Reddit. Look up Bill Weber. Seriously, I'll do it. Fuck it. Why not? I'll see if I can find the photo. Let's see here. Oh God, this is not who we were. That's a different man.
What are you looking up?
Nope, we got it. All right, here it
Chesky
is. Yeah, here it is. Okay.
He is a little. He's a little junky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's in a hot sauce store.
The dude literally looks, nothing against Bill Weber, but he looks like Austin Powers, the movie where dipshit's in a fat suit playing Fat Bastard. He literally looks like he's wearing a fat face, the rubber and shit. He literally looks like Fat Bastard, just a white version of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could deal with Bill Weber in the pits. I just don't think he's relevant enough anymore.
Bill Weber's not as bad as people might have thought he was. And even in
I
the
just
booth,
heard like a lot of behind the scenes shit though that he really burned a lot of bridges.
Yeah. I mean, he's no Alan Bestwick, so I think that's why he kind of got judged unfairly, because I don't think he was a terrible lead commentator. But
he's not. He was a good what we consider Chris Myers. Like
yeah,
Chris Myers to me does not make a good pit reporter, but he also doesn't make a good commentator. But he's good for the pre-show.
Yeah,
that's Bill Weber, and Bill Weber was a good pit reporter, but he does better as a post-race and pre-race host.
What I really miss, I wish they would bring maybe like Jamie McMurray to the track with Chris Myers and put him in like the Hollywood Hotel or whatever, if they don't want to call it that anymore. Because I like the race breaks that they have where they talk, where Chris Myers will go through what happened. Jamie McMurray will give his analysis.
Now,
it's just fresh voices. Yeah, because now it's just them the whole time. And you hear the same things and the same voices. I like Chris Myers kind of giving a recap and a rundown during the race.
I just don't think we'll see that at the racetrack unless it's like the Daytona 500. I just don't
we
think
didn't even see
them out there with this economy and shit.
Well, Myers is already there, so because he's only on for like 30 minutes. He does the pre-race, and then what does he do then? Does he just sit there? Does he
fly
leave?
home?
I don't know what he does. Yeah.
I'm assuming he flies home.
So to me, I think it would be really cool if they got Jamie to the track or Larry, whatever one they would want to do. I think Larry would be good. They could have him chime in from the Hollywood Hotel or something if they want to about what he needs to do. I think that would be good because I think Fox needs something, but it's all about cost saving. So I don't know how not sending Larry Mack and renting a little space as a track is going to really hurt the bottom line, but I'm
sure they got to have that Hollywood Hotel stashed somewhere, right? I think that'd be a good bring back for the throwback, in my opinion.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. Bring back
Jeff Hammond. Put Jeff Hammond with Chris Myers and DW in that bitch.
Yeah.
Yes. Because let's be honest, everybody says bitches and shits on DW as he got older because he got a little bit more wilder with the shit he said. But the dude was a fucking funny fucker back in early Fox with Jeff Hammond. Him and Jeff Hammond together, along with Chris Myers making fun of his hair and his makeup and shit. And now with Harvick in the booth, it would even be better because Harvick used to give him shit about his hair being perfect and having to use put his makeup on and shit. So
they'd cut the Harvick in the booth giving him shit. Yeah.
And him putting hairspray and shit and what hair he's got left.
Yeah, there was a moment back when Junior and Harvick were in the pre-race thing.
Hosted the Hollywood Hotel at Sonoma. Yeah. That was 2001. Yeah, that was a good one. It was all right.
Yeah.
No, Junior was a little awkward.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he used to be awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's all we need to talk about for NBC. Hendrick. Oh my God. There continues to be a performance divide between the 5 and the 24 and the 9 and the 48.
It's been that way for years. This ain't nothing new. This goes back to when Jimmy came into the sport and joined Hendrick. It was usually always the 48-24 outperforming the 25 and the 5.
Right.
All they did is change the fucking numbers since then. So this is nothing new. And it seems like a 4-car team cannot be good at the same time. They have to take turns. A set has to be good, but while the other set has to wait 2 years for their turn.
I don't get that because Gibbs has all 4 of them good,
Yeah, I mean.
Do they, though? Like, there was a year that Trix didn't win a fucking race and missed the playoffs because of it.
But he was still top 5 in points, or 5th or 6th.
And then look at last year. He literally fucking coasted his way through it till the final 4, and he got eliminated.
Yeah.
The dude ain't had a top 5 since last year. Some point, like early into the playoffs. He ain't had a top 10 or something.
I'm not sure the stat on Truex, but I just think it's tough because it seems like they, Fugel and Cliff Daniels have something that they're not giving to Gustafson and Blake Harris. And crew chiefs are very stubborn, I think, and want to have their own idea and they want it to work. And I don't think, it would really hurt Alan Gustafson's pride if he's got to copy off a Cliff Daniels paper.
So maybe it ain't a Larson or his crew chief thing. Maybe it's an Gustafson thing.
I honestly put it 50-50 on Gustafson and Chase equally. I know you'll think, wow, he's giving shit to Chase here. But to me, I think it actually falls a little bit more on Gustafson because Cliff Daniels does an incredible job giving Kyle Larson the car that he needs to succeed. He knows his driving style. He knows what he needs to give him for him to do well. And he's always very reinforcing to Larson. He's always giving him confidence, saying, like, you got this. Chase in the car yesterday, Alan said, hey, how can we help the car? And Chase said, I don't know how you can help if I can't tell you what to do because I'm not doing it right. So the guy
I'm
clearly
just telling you, Chase is not into this car.
Yeah.
Chase cannot stand this car. And if you have that attitude, you're not going to figure it out. You're not going to want to figure it out. You're not trying.
The thing is, I think he's just down on confidence. Like last year,
I don't think it's the confidence. It's just this car.
I think
he does
it's
not like this car. I just don't think he likes this car to learn it.
I don't know because it's tough because he's worked with Alan Gustafson for his entire Cup career. I think maybe a different look wouldn't hurt.
I was going to say sometimes that's a bad thing, but I mean, who do you give them? You're not switching out. You're not getting Williams and Kyle's crew chief. I don't think you want Bowman's because he ain't proved a damn thing yet. So you got to bring somebody inside, from the outside.
I know this is an interesting name. Bradley mentioned to me earlier. I don't hate it. Greg Ives. Him and Chase won an Xfinity championship together, kind of like what Rudy Fugle and William Byron was like. And sometimes guys just have good chemistry. Maybe Greg Ives and Chase Elliott would. To me, I think they'd look outside.
I think you got to go outside Hendrick.
Kevron says fire Alan G. Better crew chief would give him better encouragement and info to help Chase out. Yeah, it's tough because the struggles really started with Chase leading into the playoffs in 2022. He got the 5 wins or the 4 wins in the regular season, and that was all great. But he only had 2 top 10s in the playoffs that year and limped his way to the Final Four, kind of similar to how Truex was as the regular season champion. Chase made the Final Four. Truex didn't. But, he only got that second place at Bristol, which is a weird race, and he won Talladega. But no other top 10s in that playoffs. And then, of course, he gets injured after his second place finish at Fontana last year. Never really got there to contend for a win, maybe except the Indy Roval. That was probably the closest he got. So I think it's definitely an extended period of time. It's about probably a year and a half of this type of running this way now. So I think something's gotta give here. I agree with you that Chase probably isn't crazy about this car. I sent you something yesterday that Chase has yet to finish top 5 on a mile and a half in the next gen car.
Wow.
You sent that to me?
Yeah, Twitter.
Okay.
So, which I'm not counting Atlanta because that's not a traditional mile and a half.
Not
but
anymore.
The ones that we think of, he has not gotten top 5 yet in the next gen car. So that's definitely an interesting stat to me, and that's been the weakness of the 9-team. Sal, I think you can attest to this. Chase's entire career. He's only won at 2 of them, Kansas and Charlotte, in 2019 and 2020, and it's never been a strong suit. Maybe apart from 2020 and 2021, he was good at them, but that was about it. So something's got to change for sure. We'll see what happens with Phoenix. That's kind of a hit or miss track for that team. And Bowman's hasn't been as good there in recent years, but we'll see what Blake Harris can give those guys. So yeah, any thoughts on the Hendrick divide? What do the 9 and 48 teams really need to do to step up?
It's definitely interesting. I don't know. It might just be as simple as like maybe Cliff Daniels not wanting to give everybody else the formula.
But see, that's just the thing is though, you have access to it. Like even if you don't have access to it at the race shop with Hendrick, NASCAR allows every team to literally look at data and shit from other teams. And I'm sure they're getting the same
but not setup. not setup data, so.
And well, you're still getting the same parts, and I don't see Rick sitting over there and literally telling, letting that slide. Yeah. In my opinion, not when Chase is supposed to be NASCAR's, money grab or whatever, golden boy, the most popular driver. Rick's not going to sit over there and be like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with 2 cars running good. I think it comes down to either the crew chief don't like the setup that he's being shown, or he knows Chase Elliott is trying it in the simulator and is not liking it at all.
Yeah.
And he's having to figure it out his own setup.
And
yeah, a lot of it too could be not having practice really for the most part. You're just getting You're just getting one practice session, and if that practice session gets rained out, NASCAR is just saying, screw you. You're not getting any practice at all.
Or whatever you bring from the shop, you're literally stuck with.
Yeah.
Unless you wreck that bitch and have the backup car with a totally different setup, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and some people some people get better with more repetition and figuring out how they are. So I think Kyle having as big of a background in dirt racing as actually something that can benefit him here, because if it is like a bad setup and it's a really loose setup, like he's going to be used to running loose cars more than anybody else on the team, and maybe anybody else more in the sport of NASCAR as a whole. So I think I think from that aspect, a crew chief's not going to be scared about having too loose of a setup, because they know their driver is going to adjust. So if anything, he could try to make it more tight, and just know the later in the run it gets, the more loose it's going to get, and that's just going to benefit Kyle.
Unless Chase Elliott's not comfortable in a loose car.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I think you have Larson having more success than everybody else, is because Cliff Daniels knows, hey, I can make my setup maybe a little bit tighter, because I'm not going to be concerned about it being too loose with someone that has the same background, that has the background that Larson has.
And that's just his driving style, though.
Yeah.
This car suits Larson in the way of you don't get punished for getting up into the wall.
Mm-hmm. Like he used to.
Larson.
That's how he lost a lot of his races.
So
he's like, here comes Larson on the high line. I'm like, give it 10 laps, he'll be in the wall, and he'll be done. He'll be done.
And
I'd argue he'd have about 5 to 7 more wins with that 42 car if that doesn't happen. So
yeah. Another thing to think about is
it's definitely impressive for him. I mean, he's just showing that he's arguably the best driver in the series right now. He can do it anywhere, anytime, it seems like. So, and he's got the perfect crew chief for him. That's all. It's a lot of people want to talk about marriages in sports. Who was the one that carried it? Tom Brady or Bill Belichick? Mahomes or Reed? Phil Jackson or Michael Jordan? Chad or Jimmy? When you've got a pairing that just meshes so well and complements each other perfectly, like I think Kyle and Cliff do, they're going to go out and win races, and we're going to see this 5-team win championships. I think, I don't think that team's done, winning championships. I think they could get it's tough in this day and age, but I think they could easily get, 2 more.
When it comes down to one race with this new car, it's definitely a whole lot harder than what it was 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any thoughts? So we got Kevron saying swap crew chiefs between the 9 and the 48. I don't want that.
No, personally. I don't think they should do that.
I don't think you want somebody that's struggling as well. That makes I don't think that works.
That makes 0 sense.
Yeah.
The crew chief thing, I mean, it just seems like Fugel and Daniels know what their drivers like, and it's fitting both of their drivers' styles of racing, and that's why they're able to run up there. I mean, William Byron had that trash bag hit his car, and he still recovered from that, and he could make moves. Kind of.
I read somewhere that they found a beer can or a beer bottle in
the air filter.
In the air filter.
That's why
probably made him run like shit, because he didn't run too good after that trash bag incident. Yeah,
and he still finished.
He didn't recover.
Towards the end, though, I was watching Chase's onboard, and he flew by Chase like nobody else did in the field. Like he was doing William really Byron, well, but it's just so tough with having no.
Something to remember about William Byron, who with this no practice shit, it benefits him the most because he used to race on a computer. So
and the simulators
he's
really
got some racing background.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I think really I think it's just there may be a divide between Elliott and Gustafson, and maybe it's time to maybe bring in Ives because of the connection. But I'm not too sure if that does happen or not, because Ives it was very hit or miss, and I don't know if they want to risk that. And I think Chase is just, one, doesn't like the car, and two, and he doesn't care to work with it, and two, his confidence is lower. He just doesn't seem as confident. He just seems like there's certain moves that maybe he would used to make that he just doesn't make anymore. He doesn't even bother. So I think there's a confidence issue in Chase, and it's noticeable.
The issue
it's hard
with
to have
him,
confidence if your car don't do what you want it to do.
Yeah. The issue with him is, in this car, I think the most important part of the race for your positioning is restarts. And to me, he tried to make an aggressive move on the first restart and got blocked immediately. And was never that aggressive on a restart again, and seemed like, to me, got swallowed up a few times on restarts, and not even just the first lap, like the first 5 or so 10 laps of the run,
they're all cluttered.
It just seems like that's when he loses the time. He can settle in and start to run good times after that once he gets into a rhythm, but the first 10 laps of the run is where I think he probably struggles the most, and I think that's what they need to work on with him, because it's equally on him. He needs to be better, because Kyle Larson and William Byron are not having those issues. William Byron was balls to the wall on the second restart of the race, making a crazy move to get to the lead.
Went from 11th to 6th and 5th on the last restart. So
to me, I think Chase needs to get some outside help. Get a new person giving him advice. I know William Byron's worked with Max Pappas. That's helped him a lot. I just think Chase needs something different, because it's very easy to get caught in a pattern and in a comfort, because him and Alan have worked together for a while.
Do we think the leg's completely healed?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you do?
Yeah.
I think the leg's got nothing to do with what we see right now.
Okay.
And I'd argue the leg really didn't have much to do with what we saw last year either. I don't think, because that team never fully recovered. I think that they showed what they were going to be last year. So it's tough to say. Let's go into picks. Big win, JB.
Gets
Kyle Larson gets a big old 5 points for that. I get 2 with Jolo, who did not reach my expectations, but still got me a P2 and got me 2 points. I'm happy with that. Tegan gets 1 point for P3 with William Byron. Kind of a miraculous comeback for that. Yeah. So let me get my notes up here. Picking first is Kev Ryan. The Kev part is not here. So Ryan, if he sent me who he'd like, but if you want to give the pick, Ryan, he kind of deferred it to you. So
I want to go. It's somewhat of a throwaway, somewhat not, because he's been good here the past couple years, but I don't know if he's going to be good again. Let's just get Chase Briscoe out of the way and call it a day.
A solid pick.
In the short run, you might be all right.
Next up, Bradley. We're going to go 2 SHR cars off the board immediately.
Gregson. We went Gregson? Wow.
He was somebody that I looked at picking, honestly, because that 10 team has run well there at times. So I don't hate that. Sally, you're up next. Who do you got?
Austin Cindric.
I don't hate that either. I don't hate that at all. Definitely not a big swing week for anybody, it seems like. Next up after that is Wessel. So he's going to pick Ross Chastain, last year's winner here. Wessel's first big swing. And I think he's picking a really good time for it. Ross Chastain off the board.
He's very strategic with his picks.
I think that's a good move. 3 kind of punts didn't work out as well for him as it did for Matt with some of his punts, but yeah. Speaking of Matt,
some lucky shit.
You're next, Matty. What do you like?
We're going big name here. We're going Ryan Blaney.
Holy shit!
Good one.
This is an odd track for Blaney.
He's my
What?
It's not. He's finished second here the last 4 years in a row.
Would love to mention Mike put Ryan Blaney
in the wrong spot.
I'll take him.
He said, "Fuck you, Matt." He was taking him. Fuck you, Matt.
No thanks.
If you don't. Next up, Mr. Jones.
So this might be a throwaway, but I'm going with the crew chief in this track. I got to go with Josh Berry.
All right.
Okay, he's going because of Rodney.
A lot of SHR guys off the board.
I think we've seen a lot of Fords is what we're seeing. This is where we find out if Ford gave up something on short tracks.
To me, with Blaney and Chastain off the board, those are 2 guys that I think will be in the winning conversation. I'm not really looking to swing either right now. I'm going to go for maybe a middle-of-the-road pick here. And I'm going to throw out Carson Hocevar. And JB, I asked for his pick, and I am yet to receive it. So before the end of, I don't know if BJ is running, but if he gives it to me before the end of the pod,
JJ Yale.
I don't even know if he's racing either.
Some initial guy, somebody with some initials.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the picks.
Marty T.
Okay, MTJ. Before we get out of here, anything you guys would like to talk about? We had a real heartbreaker CFRL race last night for our guy Kamal.
Oh man, yeah, you hate to see someone dominate a race
that way.
Lose it like that, and then give it to the man who doesn't need any more wins. It seems like here in Tegan.
Tegan was prepared and was going to be happy with second.
But hey,
that's been knocking on that door for over a year now. So
that's something that I say in real life. Like, you have to be in that spot in case something like that happens.
Right.
It's kind of, you have to be good enough to be in a spot like that.
To be honest, the thought had entered my mind on that last run when I was catching him after we made our pit stops. And I thought, no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll either pass him cleanly and I'll win it and break his heart that way. I did not want it to happen the way it did. Literally, I was the first guy to see him literally go all the way to the wall. And when you see a car do that, that either means he's lagging out or you're fucking lagging out. So you can hear me. I'm the first one to be like, oh God, no, please God, no. And he just disappears. And he tells me because I talked to him last night before my interview, he said it lagged out and I just sat there and stood at the screen without saying a word. And I could actually see him doing that, and I could see myself doing that if that had happened to me. Because I literally have lagged out in my league on the fucking white flag lap coming to the win. Like literally coming out of the backstretch, going through 3 and 4 at Kansas. And I got lagged out and gave the win to Incog because of that. So
didn't I give it to you?
I know that hurt. No, you gave it to Incog.
Did I?
I remember. Yes, I remember if you.
I don't remember that.
Me. Yes,
but
we gave it to Incog because Incog was like an admin then, so he wasn't going to take it away from himself. The dude was literally like, I literally said last night, I don't want this win, and Incog's like, give it to me. So yeah, I know Incog did not give that win up at Kansas because he was wanting to take it yesterday, finishing 9th. So I know better. It
made me even more frustrated considering I would have probably found myself in second had that caution not come out, you know. Definitely would not have wanted to win that way.
I benefited from that caution.
Oh yeah, you did.
But I hated it. I did hate it for Kamal though. God. As soon as I heard Tegan say, "Please don't tell me you just lagged out," and then I look at my track map and I see the 4s in the lead.
And
I'm like, I ain't gonna say that without it happening because I'm not jinxing it.
Yeah,
I've had that put on me at Talladega with me and No Name getting lagged out, literally a lap apart from each other. We got jinxed into it. I'm not putting that jinx on a teammate. I'll put it on Mike any fucking time, but not on a teammate.
Did you last night?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When that caution come out, trapped your ass a lap down. I kind of like push me in the pit road again, and the speeding penalty again, bitch.
Whoa! Hey, you saw my screen. I didn't do anything.
I don't care.
Okay. I was so pissed off at that last night. I was really angry. Like,
I wasn't too happy after Atlanta either. So I think I won the one that you probably should have won, and you won the one that I should have won. So we're even, bitch.
Yeah, we flip flopped. You know,
that's what my dad used to call what do you call it? The laws of physics or of karma and shit. So it came back around.
It did. What a race that was. Got to feel for Kamal. Wish, there could have been a way where, but, making 200 laps and his internet said no. I wish, there was somebody would give him a consolation or something, because that's a playoff. He was a lap and a half or so away from a playoff.
His consolation is he had such a good
stage point.
The stage win and the pole. He literally averaged like 5th place points. So there is a little bit of consolation in that, because he literally lagged out and still beat one driver in the field last night. So with lagging out, with that driver finishing the race. So that kind of says a little bit. So he still averaged 5th place. Because I looked at it this morning just to see what he scored 38 points. Like Ryan scored like 1 point more than he did. And Ryan finished 4th. So
I think I ended up with somewhere around there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I got 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, that's what frustrated me. Was because I was in 2nd, you were in 4th, and I was like, man, I got him on a stage point. I'm gonna get 2 more here. He's gonna beat me at Chicago next week, so I'll go into about a 5-point advantage. And then we decided to wreck right after I was exiting. It was really unfortunate. And I had damage. So you know how I got damage on the initial restart?
You never did fix it. I watched your stream.
No, I did fix it, and then I got it. I hit Kamal on the stage restart and got the same damage back, 2% front damage. and I was like, "Are you serious?" So I had that for the entire race, basically, even though I fixed it after the stage. And then once we had the green flag stop, I wasn't going to give up a second to fix it, because I was, I had already kind of conceded that Kamal was so far ahead that I would need something to happen to him to get to him. And I just wasn't going to want to lose that 1 second to JB behind me. So I didn't fix it. And then I had to take the wave around, so I couldn't fix it under caution when I would like to fix it. And then I hit the wall and got more damage. So, yeah, that was.
So you were moving on older tires. So that is credit to you.
I did move through the field on older tires, which made me feel good, I guess. I ended up 4th, almost had 3rd. After a fun battle with Kevron. So, yeah, I'll take it, I guess. But really hate it for Kamal. But, Tegan put himself in the spot that he needed to be in case something like that happens. That can happen to any of us. Of course, it's a lot more likely with Kamal, it seems like, than anybody. But very unfortunate that happened. But still a good night for him points-wise, and a good win for Tegan. Seems like Richmond's a one that you start backing into every time.
I back into Richmond's apparently.
Yeah,
I've had one good race there where I've earned it. I backed into my first career win there because KD lagged out.
Yeah.
After the last stop, I dominated my second win there, and then the last 2 I literally had it kind of handed to me. So
yeah, well, you did some good defense on the one last year.
Yeah, I told Brad, because Brad said, you still finished better than I. You still drove better than I did. I'm like, I don't know about driving better. I was just good at blocking or running the lane I should be in to keep Mike from getting a run on me. So,
and I was nice. You got to give me credit. I was very nice.
You are. I mean, if you hadn't been, I'd have got you somewhere.
You got me anyway. You got me anyway.
On my screen, I didn't move you. I just got under you.
Oh, okay, but you want to shit on me for Atlanta? I didn't hit Bradley on my screen, and you. So
you should have known that shit. You like Kevron knows there's a bubble. You should too, bitch. Move over.
I was trying to.
You try hard enough.
This is the stream.
All that matters is we're even. You won a race that I should have won, and I won a race that you probably would have won if you hadn't had your issue with the caution. So we're even.
Yes, that's fair. We're even. We'll be friends, you know. I don't like you a lot of the time, but, you know, you're always my friend. How about that? Time to head out of here. The music's hitting. Kevron's saying Jerry. I'm not sure why. Tegan, hit the water bottle. You're fucking downing it right now to make it in time. Let's go. Slam it.
Ooh, I'm downing. Oh, slam it. Oh, damn, this is healthy.
That's it. See y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in.